three things. You had the Pham drop ball. You had Hayes not hustle to first. If he runs, he's safe. Instead, Francona challenges it. He's out. Instead, the guy stopped running. He's making $70 million. I don't want to hear about bad back when your team can't scratch out runs. If his back's that bad, get him out of the lineup. If he can't run hard to first base on an infield play. And then David Bednar, Pittsburgh's favorite son, gives up 2 runs, and he's smiling as he comes off the mound.
Because he didn't give up 3?
Yeah. Like, everything's just so amazing right now and so fun and so perfect that he's smiling after he gets his head caved in again. And I'm driving in to do the sports call last night with Richie, and I hear Chuck. I hear Chuck in Uniontown lead off the postgame show.
Caller emeritus.
Yep. And it just occurred to me, and here's just a quick clip of Chuck last night. I saved this.
Shame, shame, shame. That's Nunning's first word in his book of obscenities. Championship team. Terrible.
I feel for guys like him.
I was going to say, I hear that call, and Chuck has often uncorked some very funny ones, managerial error number 5,624 or whatever for Shelton. But, man, like, Chuck's older than us. It's been a while since Chuck saw a team that won big.
At least he did get to see it happen, though. He got to see it, but, like, he lives and dies with this team. He watches or listens or both to every game. He's a loyal caller. Like, he deserves better. I don't think that's like a hokey thing to say. A guy like Chuck deserves better by the franchise he's chosen to invest his time and his emotional energy into. There are a lot of people like Chuck out there who deserve better and aren't getting it. I'm just watching them put out another game that is laughingstock material, and I think about people like that. And I heard not just Chuck, but the post-game show, again, was jam-packed with people that want to express their disdain for how... I won't say the mighty have fallen is not the right term because they were mighty in the 70s. It's been 50 years. Just how inconceivable it really is that a franchise can be as consistently bad as the Pirates.
And bad in like multiple, almost unfathomable ways. They do bad social media posts.
Ways to lose.
They invent ways to lose. I was going to laugh and point out Joe Block pointing out Solak running hard and say, let's have a moratorium on that. But the Hayes play makes me reconsider.
PR, just L's left and right.
Are they going to put Tommy Pham in the lineup again tonight after he – because you know what would have been a truly poetic end? He biffs that ball. They lose 2-1. It almost was better that the game got away from them in the last couple of innings and it became a semi-rout because that would have been another way. The guy that no one wants in the lineup that you paid too much money to that is supposed to be a veteran leader, except he's getting suspended for making masturbatory motions at a fan.
Good word.
Is dropping a baseball for like how many times has he done that now in the last week?
Twice in less than a week. In Philadelphia
and he's
Friday and again last night.
That would have been another level of embarrassment. It's almost for the best that they gave up a bunch of extra runs. It's just they find so many different ways to be inept, and I just can't get away, too, from the fact that at the very top, the person who puts all of this together feels he has put things in the right place, given them what they need, and now they just need to perform. It's just wild to consider on a day-in, day-out basis.
We hear from people all the time that tell us why they haven't watched a game in a long time or gone to a game in a long time. Those people seem to be most willing to call in and bitch more and complain. People like to call... make phone calls to complain about things, whether that's customer service, whether that's something, a bill. I mean, that's typically the way it goes. You don't get phone calls telling you how good you're doing. It's more, let me tell you what you're effing up. And so we get that all the time. People using us as the messenger here, as the soundboard to say, I haven't been to a Pirates game since X, Y, or Z, or I haven't bought a ticket since X, Y, Z happened. Mm-hmm. How about the Chucks out there who still care? What causes these people to keep coming back? Are they just gluttons for punishment? Something happened to them, it had to be, at a young age when the Pirates, I guess, conceivably were good, that hooked them for life. And it's like a narcotic. They can't quit. Is it just is it a seasonal part of life? Hey, weather's warm, baseball's here. It's just something that is part of the routine that I I crave.
But that to me is like that's like a more casual relationship with baseball. That I think you can turn on and off. It's nice. I'm outside. I'll put the game on. I'm not really going to be moved one way or the other if they win or they lose. It's just like a soundtrack to the summer. It's just background noise. It's elevator music.
Okay, then I have the other theory here.
The Chuck in Uniontowns who, like, you hear I'm not saying that Chuck is actually depressed, but you hear the baseball depression in his voice when he calls in.
Yeah, no question about that.
I put myself through this for 2.5 hours every day for 6 months, 162 games. And this year it's looking like after 100 of these games, this is how I'm going to sound because they invent new ways to break my heart over and over and over again. And that's the fascinating element to me is like those people who still care to that degree.
I'm going to come back the next day, and even if I know you're going to break my heart again, it's 100 little heartbreaks.
I know you don't. I mean, you do follow because you have to. Because it's our responsibility, it's our job. This is the life we've chosen. But
my love for the sport has diminished.
Like if you were, if somehow you got hired away and you're working for the USGA or the PGA or a golf course,
yeah,
you're not following the Pirates on a day-to-day basis unless they're good.
I wouldn't.
You're watching the Skeens games, maybe.
I'd peek in to see, and if I say I looked up 3 weeks into the season and they were 17-8. I'd be like, okay, I'm checking, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like 15-8. I'd be like, I'm checking in on this for the time
their
being.
Television ratings are still relatively good given their record. And we know from attendance, they still have like roughly, I don't know, 7,000 to 8,000 season ticket holders. That's still a lot of people that purchased 162 game packages from this team, Chris.
I just think there are two theories as to how that could be. For older fans, Chuck's age and up, I think when they were coming up as kids, even though that was the 70s Steelers, if you're a little older, where you were like 10 or 11 when the Pirates won in 71, like so you're born in 1960, let's say, that was when baseball was still like way bigger than football, and I think that gets hardwired in. Then I think there are people who have parents who are of that age and have a ton of good memories. Maybe they were born in the 70s, and they have memories of going to watch really good Pirates teams, and then they buy the tickets too, or they care, just to explain like the general affinity they still have. It's a tie back to their parents who might be gone now. It's a tie back to earlier life, and it's something that, again, gets kind of baked into you. And even if you're going to be unhappy about it, more often than not, there's still a fundamental joy at the bottom. But, man, it's getting hard to see any of that joy. It's been obscured by loads and loads of you-know-what.
Sports are supposed to be entertainment. They're supposed to be fun. When your team loses as often as the Pirates do, and it happens in the manner in which it does, where the team didn't do much in the offseason. They've made a litany of public relations miscues, and they've alienated and annoyed fans that way. The product is bad. Like, I'm telling you, man, I'm hearing that post game last night, and there's, like, Charlie's in here saying they could have taken calls for 3 hours. Like
that part of it's the Skeens effect. Him being here and him being on this team. I know he didn't pitch last night. That part of it, though, is the Skeens effect, and to a much smaller extent, the way in which they're losing, where they're so inept offensively, where they're scoring 1 run or 2 runs most of the time. And then Joe Block saying they brought the lumber tonight on a game where they score 4. That is why. Those two factors are why people are still lined up for 3 hours deep, in Charlie's words. Because it's like it's a novel way right now to be this bad.
Donnie, I mean, I empathize with the Chuck and Uniontowns of the world. The people whose, like, life, their existence is so tied into what the Pirates do. And you've hosted the show on Saturday, and you've hosted post-game shows. There's actually a shocking amount of people who are like that.
I want the Pirates to be good more for Chuck than myself. More for anybody. Because you can just feel every time Chuck calls, and he's a realistic caller. He is not somebody who every year...
he ain't drinking company punch or Kool-Aid.
No, he's not somebody who every year is hope springs eternal. Like, I think no matter how little the front office did to make the team better, they're going to look good this year. He's not one of those people, because I still remember our first call the week before the season, And he went on and on about they did not do enough.
They blew
and
it.
It will show very quickly that they did not do enough. They have blown the first offseason with Paul Skeens. And the poor guy, every single game.
He's always there. He's like the postman.
Yes.
Rain, sleet, snow, he don't care. They could lose 10-1. They could make all kinds of mistakes and beat themselves like they did in the game last night. And he's still right there.
He's showing up for them way more than they're showing up for him.
I picture him at home on the edge of his seat, watching every single pitch, every single play,
thinking about what he's going to say to Dan or whoever's doing post game, like thinking about a call he's going to make.
And I feel like more and more people are getting away from that because it's just not worth it. I mean, I think myself, I can lump myself into, I used to be a kid that would not want to miss a game, whether I'm, on the couch at home watching with my dad as a kid, or I'm with my buddies in college, or even, early into the adult years. I never wanted to miss a game. It is becoming a chore to watch this team play every night.